There's no denying the fact Volvo make exceptional cars. Anything from the 850 T5 to the current S and V90, they're just fantastic cars that are capable, they're stunning to look at, and they're technologically advanced. But the XC90 is one of those that I feel hasn't had the credit that is due. So this is a £74,000 model. It comes with a multitude of extras, including an extensive sunroof, a winter pack, a family pack, loads of bits and pieces. Oh, and a 407 brake combined output out of a 2-litre supercharged and turbocharged 4-pot with an electric engine, which also makes this a plug-in hybrid. And as such, the rated fuel economy is just above 130 miles per gallon. But let's be honest, around in the real world, you're not going to see that. No way. What you will see, however, on a run is decent. Gig test. Gig is an hour-ish away. All the equipment in the back. Me and Salva, you remember Salva from the V90 video where we drove up to Blackpool and used autopilot almost the entire way. Let's go. Easy as that. I've arrived. We're in the venue. The venue is ever so slightly off-road, so actually this was the perfect vehicle for this, as I'm still off-road, but the engine isn't currently on, so really easy drive, 31.2 miles per gallon, big car, 2 of us, all the equipment, can't complain. Now the gig is over, comes the drive home when you're tired, and with pilot assist and with great cruise control means that hopefully this is going to be an easy trip home. Let me start talking about the interior, with its fine leather stitching, real wood, heated and cooled leather seats that give you massage options, 5-star NCAP rating inside, which means even at a really high speed crash you're going to come out absolutely fine. Oh, and a £3,000 Bowers & Wilkins sound system, which is for me the best I've ever heard in a car, ever. Not this year, not since I started Music Motors, ever in my entire life. If you close your eyes when you're listening to classical music and you have it in the Gothenburg setting, it's as if you're actually there. It's as if you're physically in the room listening to that orchestra play. If you then put it into your individual setting and you put it as you want, you could very easily be watching a live performance at Glastonbury or in the O2 Arena, just however you want it set. It's just amazing clarity with a good amount of bottom end, which sometimes to me was a bit too much, but it wasn't distorted, it wasn't muffled, it was clear bottom end. It's by far just the most amazing sound system I have ever heard. Charging this car at home is easy, provided that you have a plug within reach or you have a point set up outside your house. I don't. I also don't trust putting extensions onto it to charge it, because knowing my luck I'll melt something. But what do you do if you don't have that? So you do have the charging places you can go, like Ecotricity and Pod Point. I have a Pod Point in the Sainsbury's about 10 minutes away. I'm going to run some errands and pop this on charge while I do that. Okay, made it to the charging point. Here's the bit. Pod point there. Let's go. Okay, now the car's plugged in, I find out what this one is called. So this is called Fred and Kate A and B. So here's the app. I say Fred and Kate A and B, and I'm on A, so I'm going to confirm my charge here. And now, if I come over to the car, it should look green. There we go. Easy as that. From a driving point of view, you put in no effort to drive. This car can literally drive itself as well. So price-wise, this is best of £75,000 on the road. What do you get for £75,000? You get a lot of car, you get effectively a house on wheels, and you get a statement in that you could have bought a Range Rover, because for that money, let's be honest, you could buy a Range Rover Sport. But you chose something which was even more refined. So to be honest, you would have to spend in excess of £100,000 to get a Range Rover to have the quality that this has. Outside, this is a beautiful looking car. I always love the style that Volvo have, and this T8 has that special kind of sports styling. Not quite our design, but showing you that in this inscription model, it looks amazing. Then performance, 407 brake horsepower, within reason whenever you want it, and the plug-in ability to give you up to 20 miles as you drive along. So if you plug in every night and overnight, you'll have 20 miles in the morning to drive and you'll be happy days. Say you've got to work and you need a bit of a blip up, you can plug in at the mains or you can plug in at a point. People like Pod Point or Ecotricity have the availability to do that. An economy test is my go-to thing, really. I like to know what the real world fuel economy is of a car because, well, this one says it can do 134 miles per gallon, and I know while I'm within the battery range, that is totally doable. I can see that happening. In the real world, you're not always on battery. You're gonna have to use this 2-litre supercharged and turbocharged engine at some point. So with that in mind, I've put this on a little charge. It's been on for about half an hour, so that's gonna give me maybe 5 or 6 miles worth of charge. I'm gonna put it in super duper eco mode, and I'm just gonna drive carefully. And let's see what this can actually turn around when I zero that trip. Like that, 33.4 miles per gallon. I mean, it's not super frugal, but this is a 2.2 ton car. It's got a 2-litre powering it, so that 2 litres being pushed. So to be able to turn that around, I wasn't doing 60, I was doing 70, and where I needed, I put my foot down to get out in spaces. I drove normally. That's not that bad at all. You can live with that, definitely. I generally found that if you put this into sport mode, which lowers the air suspension, makes it so that the electric engine and the petrol engine are working together in unison, you'll most likely not see the best fuel economy you want. You'll see between 15 and 20 miles per gallon in that setting driving in a spriteful manner. If you put yourself into pure, which is the eco drive setting, you'll see yourself on a run getting upwards of 30 miles per gallon. Now you won't see higher than 35, you'll see 35 if you're lucky. Let's be honest, the diesel doesn't perform much better than that on a run. And in hybrid, you kind of get the best of both worlds, a bit of power in it when you want it without having to worry about the car having to assess what's going on. Put it into sport, and you turn this barge into a nimble track weapon with quick turning radius, nice, comfortable suspension that means that you don't have any roll in the corners. You notice that this is a very quick car that handles extraordinarily well and basically will give most things on the road a run for its money. And my combined thought with this car is that it looks great. It moves and performs extraordinarily well. The price is a lot, but there's a lot of technology for that money. You can get a D5 for considerably less. If you're going to spend £40,000-50,000 on an SUV, to then say spend £20,000 more, get double the horsepower, get a lot more luxury, and just generally enjoy driving it more, you're going to spend that bit more money. So at this point, this is when I'm saying I'm going to look to park next. So this is the area I want to park in. I can see the bay that I want. I'm going to say park in. Right, it's now going to start scanning for spaces. I'm continuing right now. I want it to perpendicular, not parallel. So I'm going to select reverse. There's no one around me. Let's go. So my hand is completely not in shot. As you can probably see, it's doing it entirely by itself. Pretty clever. Just keeping an eye just to make sure it's not going to crunch the car next to me. Currently it looks fine. So now I need to put it into park, let it do its thing. And stop, going to reverse. And it's now going to go in the bay for me. That's a pretty easy way to park. My only concern would be really that out of everything that's just happened, it's actually not gone dead in the middle of the bay. But also that if you need this facility to park, you shouldn't probably be driving. I know there are some tricky situations, but this is just for the lazy of lazy. Generally, I just found this a massively enjoyable car to drive with a good amount of load space, or let's be honest, an extraordinarily great load space that if you find it a little bit too high, you press a button and lower the rear suspension. You then have 7 seats, and with all 7 people in those 7 seats, you still have good acceleration, you still get reasonable fuel economy. And as an idea, I'm now going to put the car into sport mode, which lowers the suspension ever so slightly. Flick this over and put it into sport mode with traction control, which means it's not going to hold me back when I put my foot down. And just listen to this.